It's probably not a surprise to you that the vast majority of Americans have debt. According to financial experts, 8 in 10 people have some sort of debt. This is good for Dave Ramsey's business, but very bad for all of the people that owe that money.
It's a mathematical thing. When you give your income to someone else, you don't have it anymore. Is this hard? This is hard, isn't it?
But have you ever wondered how it all stacks up compared to your situation? What's the total debt individuals have? How is that broken down across mortgages, vehicles, credit cards, student loans, and other types? Getting a glimpse into where other people stand can be a good way to help give you a feel for where you're at so that you can figure out if you are on the right side or wrong side of debt. This is one of the areas in life where being below average is actually a good thing. I pulled the data from the Census Bureau. Now, they contacted participants every year for 3 to 5 years, and this is what they found based on the 2022 release. The median total debt across all generations is $62,000. Now, this amount is a little bit misleading because it takes into account people less than 35 all the way up to individuals who are 75 and older. This number is less interesting compared to how it all looks based on each individual category. When it's broken down to the age of household, people younger than 35 carry a little under $41,000 in debt. We see the largest jump from this age group to the 35 to 44-year-olds, where the number increases to $120,000. That's a 195% increase in total debt. This makes sense since a lot more of these individuals are going to start buying their first homes, getting more expensive cars, and unfortunately still carrying a lot of that student loan debt. One thing to note for any of you in this age range is that since this is the time that we see the largest increase in total debt, it would make sense to really be careful not to start taking on as much debt as we see your peers doing. If you can minimize this jump by even just a little bit, then you're already ahead of the game. As we move on to the 45 to 54-year-olds, we start to see a gradual decline. Their total debt decreases by 17% down to $100,000. Then the 55 to 64-year-olds see another decline of 32% from there, dropping down to $68,500. The last largest downtrend that we see is in the 65 and older group, where it decreases by 59% down to total debts of $28,000. While those age ranges tell us a little bit of the story, I think that we get a better idea of where everyone stands based on their generation. Gen Z's median total debt is a little under $19,000. We once again see the largest jump from Gen Z to the millennials. Now, the millennials saw an increase of 254% in their total debt compared to Gen Z. It went from $19,000 to $66,500. Gen Xers have the highest total median debt at $104,000. Then it starts to fall off very quickly for the older generations, which is a good thing. But this total median debt for each generation can be a little misleading because once we dig into the details, it doesn't look so hot. Before we go through the home debt, please help support my dog Molly and the free content on this channel by hitting that thumbs up button. As you would imagine, home debt by generation is where the bulk of everyone's debt is. I personally have a love-hate relationship with home ownership. Living in a home is so much better than an apartment, but boy oh boy can things turn south very quickly with the random expenses that pile up over time. Gen Z didn't even register on the scale because the base is less than 200,000 households. Now, according to Zillow, the typical first home buyer is 34 years old. So this gives us an idea of why the majority of Gen Z is not counted here. Plus, they're getting absolutely wrecked right now with how expensive homes are, so it's a lot more difficult to buy your first one. Millennials are coming in hot with median home debt of $180,000. Then we see a slight drop down to $170,000 for Generation X. The decline continues for the baby boomers and the silent generation. Now, I'm surprised that the silent generation folks still have that high of home debt at their age. Maybe it's just me, but I would have thought most of their mortgage debt would be paid off by that age range. I'm a big time nerd, so I wanted to take this housing debt one step further. I pulled the data for median home price and household income broken down by each state and region. West Virginia has the best home price to household income ratio. Surprise, surprise, Hawaii and California have the absolute worst. Breaking it down by region, the Northeast and West states are overwhelmingly the the worst. The Midwest and South are where you're going to get the biggest bang for your buck when it comes to comparing median home prices to median household income. The lazy response to this is, well, why in the heck don't people just move away from the northeastern and western states if they're getting shafted like this? It has more to do with where you were born. 59% of people live in the state that they were born. Because of this, you're almost forced to deal with the home prices and income levels within that location. It's not super easy to just pick up and move your whole existence hundreds of miles away just to get a better home price to income ratio. It can also be pretty expensive to move all of that stuff as well. Another thing keeping people from moving is the fact that they prefer to stay close to friends and family. If those people are in their home state, then there's less of a reason to move. It's wild to think about the fact that something completely out of your control, where you were born, plays a part in your financial future. Thank goodness that I was born in the Midwest. The average price of used cars is up 30% over the past 6 years, which blows my mind. Thank goodness it's starting to trend down after all-time highs in 2022, but it's still got some room to go. The median car debt for Gen Z is $10,000. Then we see a big 45% jump for us pesky millennials, where we see the car debt sitting at $14,500. Look, we really need to get our stuff together, but not as badly as my friends in the Gen X age group. Their median car debt is 17% higher, sitting at $17,000. Come on, guys and gals, what in the heck are you doing spending that much money on a freaking Ford Fiesta? I'm gonna go out on a limb here, but friendly reminder that those people who matter in your life don't treat you differently based on the car that you drive. And if they do, you probably don't want to be associating with them anyways. Actually, who am I kidding? Everyone probably treats you differently if you buy a car like a Ford Fiesta. So spend a little less money on one that doesn't look so goofy and is more reliable. Finally, we start to see the median vehicle debt drop once we get to the boomers and a silent generation. Nice job to the less than 8% of you that watch my videos. Unfortunately, I can't sit here on a high horse and trash people with car debt because I used to have it before starting to pay cash for all of my vehicles. We all have to start somewhere, but the ultimate goal should be to start saving up some extra money every month so that the next car you buy can be in straight cash. I'm currently investing for my future car in my M1 Finance account. My car fund is currently up 34%. Now, you can check out M1 Finance in the description down below. And if you're wondering, no, I'm not investing in anything wild and crazy, just straight up, plain, vanilla, boring index funds. Another goal with car debt should be to avoid buying more than you actually need. Now, I can't tell you how many guys that I see working office jobs, driving big pickup trucks that cost them at least $50,000. Gentlemen, what in the heck are you doing? You're just pushing pencils and papers all day long. It's funny because the guys who don't actually need that kind of truck keeps theirs all nice and shiny with zero dents or scratches. And then the guys who actually do manual labor for a career drive trucks with dents, dings, and dirt on them. You can spot the tie wearing pencil pushers a mile away. What I hate even more is credit card debt. Now, paying 20% interest is insane. This stuff will keep you in the poorhouse if you don't get rid of it as soon as possible. Call me what you want, but yes, I am shaming you into carrying a $0 balance at the end of every month because I don't want to see you getting taken advantage of by these stupid credit card companies. Gen Z, you folks are rock stars with $836 in credit card debt. Now, don't be like us older people because based on the numbers, we're idiots. Millennials, what in the heck are we thinking? Our credit card debt is increasing by 259% compared to our younger counterparts. Our median debt is $3,000. Don't worry, Gen Xers, we're not letting you off the hook either. Your credit card debt increased by 67% compared to millennials, coming in at a total of $5,000. Seems like the older folks are kind of starting to get it together because it drops down to $3,500 and $2,000. In all seriousness, I understand that some people have a hard time paying their bills for very legitimate reasons, so they're forced to use their credit cards. It could have a lot to do with these wild amounts of student loans. Back when I was in debt, the one that I was most excited to pay off was student loans. Now, as you can see on screen, it spikes from Gen Z to the millennials. but I was really surprised at how the median amount owed hasn't really budged between Gen X and the baby boomers. If you even look at the silent generation, they're still carrying some level of debt, which I think is awful to see. I couldn't imagine owing money on those darn things that late in life. Keep in mind that these are all median amounts. The average debt amount by generation is really ugly. It does account for the people who owe a lot more than most, like doctors and lawyers, but either way, the numbers are still outrageous. Trust me, I really feel for all of the people who are still paying off this debt in their later years. Now, if any of you have student loan debt out there, then I am proof that you can get that stuff paid off way before you hit your 60s. I owed $70,000 and got that plus another $12,000 paid off in under 4 years. It wasn't easy. Took a lot of extra hours of work and sacrificing my free time, but I personally refused to accept what a lot of people were telling me at the time, that you should just expect to be paying your student loans for the rest of your life. The median medical debt is an interesting one to me because it stays pretty constant from generation to generation. This is another one of those debts where I think Americans get absolutely screwed over. The whole insurance and medical industry is a complete joke and rigged against us. Don't quote me on this, but I think that I've heard that medical debt is the cause of 20 or 30% of bankruptcies, which isn't good. Unavoidable, random medical things happen, but always remember to do your best to continue to eat healthy and get your regular workouts in to hopefully help improve your chances of reducing your overall medical expenses. If you're someone who is struggling with any of these forms of debt and want to start getting it taken care of, then I show you how to do that in this video to your left. Check out the description for more resources and playlists to help with all of your personal finance and investing needs. I'll see you in the next one, friends. Done.